Well, good morning and welcome, everyone. Everybody's still. We don't have our usual music. Good morning and welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning at CSL Kauai. My name is Michelle LeMay, and I'm going to share some of the things that we have happening at the center. August is a full month, as every month has been, but today, for the first time ever, we are doing a new event called Rap with the Revs. So this will be about 10 minutes after service. We'll still have a little time for your treats. But come and join us if you are new, newer, or you've been here a while, but you'd still like to find out more. Please do so. What it's all about is really to come and hear the story of Reverends Rita and Patrick, but also to learn about the stories, the spiritual stories of other fellow spiritual seekers that are here joining you for the service each week. And it's just a way to get to know everybody a little bit more. So we invite you to stay if you'd like to do so. That'll be right after service today. And then on Saturday, Reverend Diane, who's here in the beautiful blue, waving her arms. If you could wave your arms again, wave your arms like you just don't care. There. Reverend Diane is going to be doing her very popular personal visioning workshop. So that's going to be on Saturday evening from 6 to 8. And she has a process that she brings everybody through to find your own vision for what you are wanting in life and within your family, within your relationships, whatever it is. It's open-ended. It's just open at the top, just like our philosophy is. So we invite you to join Reverend Diane. That's 6 to 8 on Saturday. Then the following week, we're going to be doing our monthly healing circle. That's going to be Wednesday, August 16th from 7 to 8. And that is a safe place for us to just come and receive as we are also letting go of anything that may be on our mind. It's all done in meditation and music. The practitioners are there to have a container to just save that space for us to have that safe place to let go and then to receive a lot of love and what we're wanting to bring into our life. And then Rita and Patrick, Reverends, are going to be doing a brand new workshop at the end of the month. It's called Beyond Words is Your Mental Equivalent. So that's going to be on the 30th. Now, there is a book by Emmett Fox. It's a booklet, actually, called The Mental Equivalent. It just arrived. It's in the bookstore, and they're $2 each. They will go fast. We've been having help with the bookstore, and the books and the Science of Mind magazines have just been disappearing thanks to Ron Stover. So Diane will be in the bookstore. Is it you today? Jackie. Okay, great. So you can see Jackie in the bookstore for this booklet, so you can have it already in your little hot hands for the workshop at the end of the month. And then, of course, we still have Flying Solo that's going to be starting in September, but there's only a few spots left, so you definitely want to get in on that as well. All right, well, thank you for your kind attention. I'm going to turn it over to the Reverends, Reverend Rita and Reverend Patrick.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Michelle.
Yes, in your face, Ron, who will be in the bookstore too at the. No. There we go. So this is our time to take a nice deep breath. And there's something that is always needed, and it always starts with us, and that is peace. And that peace starts right here, and we do this every week just to remind ourselves that. Yes, there's a lot of stuff, conditions out in the world, but if we want to change anything, it starts right here and right now with us. So let's just take a moment, a nice minute of silence to just settle into that peace that is within us. And I invite us to take that feeling, that presence of peace, and take it into every moment of our lives, from this moment to the next moment, to every moment that follows. And so it is. Morning, Maria.
Good morning. Good morning, Maria. And we
Luis.
have Luis up here. Yay. Gonna have a little drumming.
Something must be happening.
So welcome to Center for Spiritual Living, Kauai. It's wonderful to see you all here today. Yay. I know. I couldn't wait to get. How many people lost their electricity this morning? Yeah. That was fun, right? Patrick and I were visualizing what we would do if we came here and we had no electricity, and how many people would actually show up if they thought.
All of you. Fun in the dark.
You are in a Center for Spiritual Living where we practice the science of mind and spirit. And it's just another word of saying that we're practicing the presence. That's what we do here, is remind ourselves to practice the presence. It's like when we just did that peace, this moment of silence. Like, how long did it take you to get to that place? And then how long till you move out of it? That's the question. So I think that is really truly what this philosophy is about, is staying in that place and living our life from that place of love, of peace, and of that divine presence that lies within each of us.
Right. As I always say, it's simple. It's not complicated, only if we choose to make it so. And so I would like to know who is here. I'm just casing the room for the very first time in this space. Yes, welcome. If anybody over on this side? Okay. Well, since it's just you, this will be really good. Because what is your first name? Aaron. Aaron, everybody, give it up for Aaron. First time here. And what's wonderful, Aaron, is that we have some information about you that we'd like to just share publicly. Would that be okay? Put those eyeballs back into those sockets there, Aaron. Why don't we just stand up for just a second? Uh-oh.
He likes it.
Oh, there he is. Well, let's let him know what we know. You are magnificent. That was a beautiful moment. When I had that moment of this, whoa. That's all they know? Woo! Thank you, Aaron, and welcome. And we know that about you because we know that about ourselves. So shall we say it together? I am magnificent. And we have, that's not Rob, that's Ron Stover. So Ron Stover's behind the camera today, but behind that camera is a whole bunch of people on the mainland and people that just want to sleep in and just drink their coffee at home and do all of that. Let's let them know who they are, shall we? You are magnificent. And now to the left, to your right, who was ever around you, look up. It doesn't matter. Let them know. They are magnificent. You are magnificent.
You are magnificent.
It's like a spiritual. You're magnificent. You are, come on. You're magnificent. Okay, let's stand up and share that magnificence with our opening song with Maria Cristina and Luis. You guys might remember this one.
By popular request.
Away,
away,
so much loving in the world. Away, away, so much loving in the world. Living together as one under the golden sun. Living together as one under the golden sun. Blow Makani, cleanse my soul. Blow Makani, cleanse my soul. Away, away, so much loving in the world. Away, away, so much loving in the world. Living together as one under the golden sun. Living together as one under the golden sun. Blow Makani, cleanse my soul. Blow Makani, cleanse my soul.
flow. Okay. I center right here and right now in this moment and no other moment, knowing that the spirit, life, force, divine energy is right where we are, where each of us is right now in this moment. Yes, and let there be light. And we are that light. I know that. I claim it. And I know this service is blessed. Everything we do here today just moves us up, up, up in consciousness. I am so grateful to be together. I'm so grateful for this wonderful group of people, these beautiful spirits that are in this room, knowing that we are all unfolding perfectly in every moment. And this just is a representation of that. So I'm grateful for it as I release my word and let it go as we say it together. And so...
Away, away, so much loving in the world. Away, away, so much loving in the world. Living together as one, under the golden sun. Living together as one, under the golden sun. Blow Makani, cleanse my soul. Blow Makani, cleanse my soul.
New month, new song, yes.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Roseanne Jones, and I'm a CSL licensed practitioner. So, now is our time for meditation. Yay. And as you relax into your chairs and get comfortable, we're going to take a few minutes to go in to that special private place. And I have a seed thought this morning, some words by Charles G. Finney. And the thought is, if you choose to take this into your meditation or not, but his words are, a state of mind that sees God in everything is evidence of growth in grace and a thankful heart. A state of mind that sees God in everything is evidence of growth in grace and a thankful heart. Enjoy your time. A state of mind that sees God in everything is evidence of growth in grace and a thankful heart. Seeing God in everything is that innermost acceptance and knowledge that God is in everything. This is the force that created the entire universe and also created that little bit of dust by your fingertips. This God force is in each of us. It's the force that is in my very being. It's the force that keeps my blood flowing through my veins and my heart beating and in every breath I take. And this is the same for each of us, whether you're sitting here or watching on live stream or walking down the street or at your job or playing on the beach. It's that force in everybody. And I recognize that when I speak my word, I speak with the authority of God. And each individual speaks with the authority of God, whether they know it or not. So today I speak my word with that authority for each of us, for unlimited joy and love and vitality and good health and prosperity and abundance, peace of mind and creative expression. I am so grateful for knowing the truth that God is in everything and everybody. And it's up to each of us to decide whether we are fully conscious of God being in everything. Grace and gratitude walk hand in hand. And I breathe into this feeling of grace and gratitude. And I release my word into the law of our being, knowing that it always says yes to our deepest thoughts. As we say together, and so it is.
Turn to your programs. There's a beautiful chant in there that we're going to just sing together.
We are held in the hands of grace, forever safe in the arms of love. Like a child receives protection from a mother's warm embrace, we are held in the hands of grace. You are held in the hands of grace, forever safe in the arms of love. Like a child receives protection from a mother's warm embrace, you are held in the hands of grace. You are held in the hands of grace, forever safe in the arms of love. Like a child receives protection from a mother's warm embrace, you are held in the hands of grace.
Thank you, Roseanne. Thank you, Maria Christina. I know.
Song brings
That was
back
one of the very
memories.
first songs I ever heard in a Science of Mind church. It was, you sang it beautifully. Thank you. We'll be using that song all month. And I love what it says, because we are continually held in the hands of grace. No matter where we are, what we're doing, what we're thinking, It's always there. And I think that's what we're celebrating this month, is this idea of grace. When I first started thinking about this topic, I realized that I didn't really have a definition for grace, besides the one I had learned as a Christian, from Christian belief. And that doesn't really work in this philosophy, because we are in a state of grace. It's not something we have to ask for. It's not something that we can get from someone else. It's not something that we have to beg for. It's only something we have to receive and accept, because we have free agency and free choice at all times. So grace is actually our state of being, should we choose to experience it. Does that make sense? It's very powerful and just so relaxing to know that we can live in this state. That's when I was saying at the beginning, how long does it take to get to that place of peace within us, and how long till we jump out of it? But in reality, we can be there all the time should we choose to, and we can get ourselves back to it if we do fall off more and more quickly should we choose to. But it takes some practice, and that's okay, because we don't live in I don't want to say we don't, but what the world shows us outside doesn't necessarily seem that way sometimes. But once we start to practice from that place of grace, things start to look differently. I mean, I've seen people that have traumatic health problems, and yet they're very peaceful and they're very at peace. And I believe that that's because they're living in a state of grace, even through what they're experiencing. I remember once when I was getting ready to get some kind of diagnosis, I was sitting on the doctor's table, and I was like, what am I going to do if they tell me this about myself? What am I going to do? And then I looked at this tree out the window, and I was like, that is so big, that is so huge, and I am that. And no matter what this doctor comes in and tells me, no matter what comes through that door, I know I'm up to it. I know I can handle it. For me, that's grace. That's living in a state of grace. And I believe that, this is what I believe, is that we can experience that all the time, and our lives get a lot less complicated. That we're really meant to live in grace all the time, and we're really meant to have joy. And to me, living in grace means having joy. Now, the only way you can have joy really is if you follow your joy. We've been experiencing that a lot this month. We've been doing the meditation with Deepak Chopra, and it's all about desire and destiny and following your bliss and following your joy. But sometimes we put up roadblocks to ourselves, and we don't follow our joy, and therefore we end up somewhere off to the side, just kind of meandering through life. Oh my God, I found these amazing quotes. One of them was about limping through life. It was a Rumi quote. Limp along until your legs are spent and you fall flat and your energy is drained. Then the grace of the divine will lift you. So I know for myself, I've done it through my life. I've limped through life, thinking, and it comes from thinking you're doing it by yourself. I had a time in my life where I had a lot of financial issues, and I was so it was so horrible to have that, and to wake up every morning with that, and to just and I couldn't seem to wind my way out of it. I couldn't, but I realized I was trying to do it myself. And I remember one day I was running, this was back a long time ago. I was running, and all of a sudden I just felt I can't do this anymore by myself. And I just turned it over. And the moment I turned it over was in my life. Did it happen immediately? No. But what happened was I had a peace of mind that I didn't have before. And I knew that everything was unfolding perfectly and that it was going to be all right. And then it moved. And then once you do that, what happens is you get to listen to your divine intuition, which you've been blocking all the time because you've been fighting it with your little ego mind. Not you, I'm just using you. But we fight it with our ego mind, and then we can't even hear what our intuition is saying to us. And all the time, it's ready to pick us up and carry us through. There was another Rumi quote. I have to give these all up. It says, "Give up to grace. The ocean takes care of each wave till it gets to shore. You need more help than you know." He actually said that. Give up to grace. The ocean takes care of each wave till it gets to shore. You need more help than you know. Well, it's true. It's humorous, but that's why we're laughing, because we do. We just think we're doing it all ourselves, and we're not. Well, we are, but we're doing it as God, and the more we can turn over to that power, the more we can turn over to that grace within us, things start to move, don't they? Tell me. Yes, right? And we've all experienced it, and we've all experienced the other way. Which one do we choose? I know I want to choose grace all the time. I want to give it up to grace all the time. But sometimes it's just stubbornness. It's just ego. It's just thinking you know a better way. It's just whatever it is. Instead, we could just go, right? So what does it take? Michael Beckwith says it takes something. I know. He says, what I can confidently share is that meditation, interior affirmative prayer, selfless service, spiritual study, these are universal spiritual practices that have brought self-realized beings into such surrendered states of consciousness that all sense of I is lost in mystical union with beloved. I'm going to read it one more time. What I can confidently share is that meditation, interior affirmative prayer, selfless service, spiritual study, these are universal spiritual practices that have brought self-realized beings into such surrendered states of consciousness that all sense of I is lost in mystical union with beloved. But that's not that difficult if we'll just take the time. And I've heard a lot of people come to me that say they don't have time for spiritual practice, they don't have time to meditate in the morning. That is like so ridiculous. It would be like not eating your Wheaties or whatever that you eat in the morning, or not eating, not eating your food. I mean, it's just like we'll take care of our physical selves, but we won't take care of our mental and spiritual life. And then we wonder why our lives are not going the way we want them to go. Right? So, yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm only saying because I do it. I do spiritual practice. It's really important for me. I can't even imagine not doing it, because I can't imagine. I just can't. I love it so much now. I mean, I think it was Michael Beckwith that said this, that it turns from a discipline to a blisscipline. Because, right? So, because you're like, oh my God, because you get, it's just, and if you can't meditate, don't worry about it. Just sit there quietly for 5 minutes, or read something, or give yourself 2 minutes. It doesn't matter. Start somewhere, because it really, 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 it's going to shift your whole life. And if you are wondering, do that. If you are suffering, do that. If you're not, be prayed up. Being prayed up is like really important. Just because we're in the trenches doesn't mean, well, they say there's no atheists in the foxhole or whatever. Don't wait until you're in the foxhole. Start when you're feeling good. Practice gratitude. Oh my God, gratitude, right? I'm telling you what to do now, but it really does work. I'm just telling you what works for me. I mean, it works. I mean, when I came to this philosophy, I think I've told you that I was like a victim. I thought everybody was doing it to me, and I couldn't get my life together because, it was about them. No, it was about me, and it was about me raising myself to a higher. You wrote a really quote on, what was that quote you wrote on Facebook this morning? It was so great. Anyway, go to Facebook and find it unless you have it memorized. You do? All right, here, tell them.
Grant me the serenity to accept the people I cannot change, the courage to change the person I can, and the wisdom to know that it's me.
Wisdom. Yeah, that's perfect, because we're the only ones that can do it. And if we want to have this gift of grace, we don't have to go get it. how many, I mean, I've been lifted out of situations time and time again, but I always wait, you wait till the last minute until you can't, handle it anymore. No, don't wait. If we can live, like Ernest Holmes says that we live, it's about the mental equivalent, which we're going to be doing in that workshop. We all have a mental equivalent for our life, and we're living our life. We might not want to hear this, but we're living our life at the mental equivalent that we have. We can't go further in this moment from that mental equivalent. But what the good news is that we're constantly living in a state of grace, which allows us to more and more embodiment. So we don't have to stay where we are if we're not happy there, and if we want more, and if we want to live from a higher place. All we have to do is increase that mental equivalent, and the way Michael Beckwith, and as we all know through meditation, prayer, all those things, just keep it going. And what's happening is that we're thinking from a greater and greater place, and we're realizing who and what we are and what we're really capable of, and that grace is our natural state of being. It's our natural state of being. So that might be all I have to say right now. But since we have the whole month to practice this, but I did hear a good story about Ernest Holmes. I hope I'm not taking it from you. But we listened to this Episcopalian minister. That's why I said I like to go first. We listened to I know. We listened to this Episcopalian minister speaking. We were like, it was really cool. He quoted Ernest Holmes at least 6 times in his talk. Yeah, Emma Curtis Hopkins, all of them. And he told a story about Ernest Holmes, and isn't it interesting? We lost our electricity this morning. But they had lost the electricity, right? Yeah. And the lady came to him frantically, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? He goes, what do you think we're going to do? We're going to pray. And so this was his prayer. God, this is Ernest. Need I say more? I could close with that, and I will, but the reason he could do that and the electricity come back on is because he was living in a state of grace. And we all have that same capability, and so it is. Thank you. Oh, you can tell it again. Thank you.
Trust in the miracle that is us. Look at what we're made of. Grace, stardust, and unconditional love, unfolding open to all that we are and have always been, and all will ever be. Right here, right now, where we're free. If we can be one with the sun, the moon, and the stars, surely we can be the love we are. We've already made it this far. Let's all just be the love we are. What more is there to ask for if we've already got it all? What more is there to ask for if we've already got it all? There's truth beyond what can be spoken, all-knowing, fixing whatever's been broken, bringing us back from where we've been. And if we've fallen, lifting us up again, 'cause we can make it through anything. There's healing that grace can bring within this love that is everything. Always giving and forgiving. If we can be one with the sun, the moon, and the stars, surely we can be the love we are. We've already made it this far. Let's all just be the love we are. What more could we ask for already got it all, what more is there to ask for? If we've already got it all, there's peace in this. It starts on the inside, where love lives. Why do we ever hide if we're really what we've been waiting for? What could be better? What more could we ask for if we've already got it all? How sweet love is. Ooh, how sweet love is.
Wow, beautiful. Yeah, what if we already have it all? Then I wouldn't be up here right now, would we? Yes. And she knows me so well. Wow, wow. We would still be here because it's not about getting over something. It's about continuing on from the greatness and the grace that we've been talking about. I really do hope that we don't gather here, you know, because, oh God, we'll get there and see if we can just get through all of this stuff. You know, I hope that's not it. I mean, I hope the door's also open and know that the door's open for that when it comes. But we also come together to just celebrate our greatness and our magnificence. So this whole grace thing did bring me back a lot to a lot of my my time when I thought that grace was for some people and not for others, and there was a big bargaining chip going on, and I used to think that. But, you know, you can only stay in the past for so long before it forces you to come into the present. And I can use that old excuse all my life, but the real truth is I know better now. I know different now. Not better, different. And so I went to sleep last night and I said, what do I need to know about this thing called grace? And I don't usually do that, but I thought, you know, I hear other people, you know, they go ask for an answer and just go to sleep and boom, you wake up with it, right? I woke up, I said, what is this grace? And the first thing that came to my mind was, I got to go to the bathroom. But then after that, after that moment, you bet it is. But let me tell you what that wonderful within me spirit, call it whatever you, I don't really believe, like when I say spirit's talking to me, I don't believe it's something outside of me that happened to make a house call to my being. What I do know is that that's always there, and I'm just, as Rita was saying, listening. And it said, all it is unconditional love. That's all grace is. It's just unconditional love. Always has been, always will be. We're trying to make it into something else and trying all of those things. And I always thought to myself, see, grace for me is not a favor. It's a birthright. And now that I'm really, really getting into that, really feeling that, really allowing myself to land in that, I have this quote, and I really please forgive me, but I forgot to write down her name, and then I Googled out, and then I can't get back to her. But anyway, this beautiful woman wrote this, and I didn't know who she was right off the bat, but we know her in spirit. Deserving is a man-made concept. Source doesn't think this way because you are an expression of it. And all you are is source. There is no separation except in your thinking. I'm going to say it again because this is what my message today is about deserving. Deserving is a man-made concept. Source doesn't think this way because you are an expression of it. and all you are is source. There is no separation except in your thinking. And I'm going to follow up on this as Mama Rita scolded us this morning and basically told us to get over it and get on with it. But, right, our beautiful, that's what, ooh, she had that look at me. Ooh, did you see that? I could feel her right there. And this is what Spirit's telling me right now. Spirit's telling me, yes, the Spirit is telling me right now is that wait till you get home. No. So this is what our wonderful Florence Shin said. There is a higher law than karma. That's cause and effect for you who want to know what we believe. Karma for us in religious science is cause and effect. And that it is grace and forgiveness that is even higher than that. So what that means is when I have a thought and I throw the boomerang out, it returns to me, does it not? In some form, in some way, it will come back. But grace is that one that takes that beautiful hand as it's about to come back and says, think again. Oh, think again. Yes. I like to think of grace as like a well-greased pan. I got all these metaphors hanging today. Well-greased pan. You know, some of us don't use enough grease in the pan, and sometimes you have to dig at the eggs. What? Oh, you guys think that we're all family now, that we can just like protect her and in her beautiful white gown that she has on? But it's like that. If you have a really well-greased pan and you have your eggs in there, man, they just slide, and that's how life is for me. That, you know, we get stuck. Yeah, grace is like Pam. You know, yeah, you can borrow that and tell all of your friends. Grace is like Pam, man, spray it in. And I like to think of grace as all of those thoughts that do not serve me. And that grace has the idea for a moment and allows them not to manifest. Because a lot of times, just think if every thought that you had manifest, ooh, I know what you've all been thinking. Look at you, ooh, not that. But what happens with grace is the grace, see, the law of cause and effect for me doesn't really have a sense of humor. Cause and effect says, I take you at your word. I take you at your thought. I take you at your feelings. And I'm your yes woman. I'm your yes man. Whatever you want. You say it, I'm your faithful servant. And that's the good news. That's the great news. Because that means if you can allow yourself to listen to what you're thinking and what you're putting out there, that there's an opportunity for you to let all of the greatness manifest in your life. But then every once in a while, grace gets in there with its natural, unconditional love and says, I love you no matter what you're thinking, what you're doing. I love you. And so I want to share a story today about grace. I have a million of them, and most of them do have humor in them. But I wanted to share one with you that I don't usually do. And I asked permission from, and I really literally am being serious about this, I asked permission from my inner child, my inner wisdom, because I said I'm going to tell something a little personal. And I want to make sure that my little boy doesn't feel shamed. So I had to go in there and say, if I share this with this loving group today, are you okay with that? And the answer was yes. Let me be an example because I've worked through it. So I want to show you and just explain to you just a little bit about this little boy. He was about 9 years old. I've told it to a few people. But I don't talk about my dad a lot. And don't worry, I'm not going to break down. You guys can all be safe. I've processed my dad. I really have. But my dad had a lot of demons and a lot of voices. And they were chatting at him a lot. And we just thought, he was just drinking, just the alcohol talking. But he had more going on than that. He had lots of voices. And PTSD and a whole list of other things if you want to label them. But I don't care about the labels. I care about the grace that happened. So I came home from school one day. I was probably maybe 8, 9, I think. And I had spidey senses back then because when you live in that environment, you are a little hypersensitive. So you're totally tuned in. I'm just checking in with myself to make sure that my little boy says it's okay to talk about it. Or as my mother would say, you're airing your dirty laundry, man. But it ain't that dirty. It's clean. So this little boy feels that something's not happening right in the home. His spidey senses go off. And he opens up the door, and there's Papo with his back to him. Ooh, something's going on. Something's going on. And I remember when he turned and looked at me, I realized my father was not there, that something else was present. How could that be? Where did you take him? Where's he at? But because I was a good superhero even back then, I gently had my hand near the door knob so I could make the escape if I had to. And here's where the grace comes in, my friends. My father looked at me and he said, you've got to leave now. And I said, Papa, chills going up as my one foot's out the door ready. He said, you got to leave now. They're asking me to hurt you. That is grace. That is grace. My father had enough love within him to surge up, to boldly stand in front of the throne of grace and say, get him out of here. I love him too much to hurt him. That's grace. That's love. So all those times when I got to go to all my pity parties that daddy was never enough and I didn't go fishing, which I don't like anyway, but maybe I would have. Who knows? And who cares? That's a moment in time, my friends, that we have to be bold enough to stand in front of people and stand naked, as it were, to allow love to make itself known. We all have a story, but it's not about the diagnoses and all the stuff about him. What the message was is that unconditional love will rule, no matter what it looks like. And there was times that maybe perhaps it didn't turn out as lovely as that graceful story that I told, but that doesn't matter. What matters is that there is this understanding about unconditional love and grace. And I am so grateful to my father when I look back, because I think this. When I wonder what true love really is, that's incredible love to me. When you can fight demons, and we all have had them. We don't have to be out in the gutters to explain the demons. We have them all the time. But we've got something that we're bathing in, and that is grace. And I also would like to thank you for allowing me to share that intimacy with you. And I just want to be, because there's nothing worse. I'll tell you a little secret. Sometimes when you walk out the door and you guys are all gone, Rita and I look at each other and we go, oh my God, that was very intimate, wasn't it? Because this is what happens when we come together. It's intimacy. That's what grace is as well. And we have to be daring not only just to tell our stories, but to move through them and tell what you got from them. What did you get from them? It's not going to do me any good to tell you my daddy's story if I didn't get anything out of it. And so at the end of the day, what I know is that this is good news for all of us. This Episcopalian priest that Rita was talking about earlier, when she stole my punchline. Another Rita thing. Oh my God, no, no. So this is what he said. Let us boldly approach the throne of grace. Today I approach the throne of grace boldly. There is good for me and I ought to have it, Emma Curtis. There is no mixture of evil with my good. There is no mixture of evil with my good. I expect, accept, and give thanks for my good. There was no mixture of evil with my Father. Let's get that really clear. There wasn't devil versus God. There wasn't anything. There was just the absolute choices that my Father made and didn't make, and there was a whole bunch of stuff going on. And here's the bottom line of it. Let's forgive. My God, no more of this. I woke up this morning and said, no more. I'll even jump on that one. No more, man. Forgive. It is unleashing that power of good. And it starts with gratitude, and I will end there. When I woke up this morning and the lights were out, and I thought, wouldn't this be a perfect opportunity to complain? 5 a.m. is early. I'm not trying to put that. That's what we get up every Sunday to make all of this happen. So here's what happened. I immediately went into gratitude. I was telling Jonathan this morning. It was such a beautiful feeling, and my talk hadn't been printed, and then you start thinking, and I went, no, this is what really is happening right now. I'm going to take a hot shower, eat some cold cereal if I want to. God forbid I won't have my egg on a piece of toast, because there's no electricity. But what I found from it, and I said, this is what activates grace, gratitude. I am so grateful for everything that I have, that I had that, and to have, it was a little personal here, but to have a bathroom that you can just flush it away, man. You don't have to think about it. We might have to think about it in our future, but we're not going to think about it right now. How blessed. But I could have said, oh my God, and I said, well, what happens if we can't print this? Well, then you'll remember it like you always do. You never use them anyway. Well, what do we do about it in here? We'll sit in kind of the light from out there. And, well, what about Marie? She's not going to have any. Oh, she'll pick up her guitar and play, and they'll play the drums. And I don't need this mic if I don't absolutely have that. I still have a message. And I thought of all the ways it can work. All the ways it can work. Not all the ways that it's not working. I love those grounds, Yeah, right? All the ways that it is working. How you feel? Yeah, me too. Me too. And Rita, I love you. Yeah, I do. And I just feel so unconditionally loved for everybody that's sitting here. And I love my Father. And I love love. Namaste, my friends. So this is our time of affirmative giving. And we give because we can. And it's not just what's in the wallets. It's what's in your consciousness. It's what's in your spirit. It's what love is. Love is giving, giving, giving. And so this is our time that we celebrate that. And we have an affirmation in your program, if you'll join me with it. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I give freely today, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly.
So it is.
So it is. Join us in the blessing song.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have.
We are, each of us, we're so blessed. And as we think about all of our blessings, and as we give and receive, I want to express my deep thankfulness, my mahalos, to each of you that shares from your hearts to give to the center. For it's not just the center, but this energy of love goes out into the community, into Kapa'a and Kauai and far beyond. So mahalo, mahalo for all of your gifts, as we say together. And so it is.
All right. So, here you go. So, okay, so a couple of things. First of all, wrap with the Revs. Don't forget if you want to stay for that. And we will have Roseanne up here, and who was else? Deborah Van de Tay, our 2 licensed practitioners, will be up here today to do spiritual mind treatment with you, should you request that. And all that means is they're just going to affirm the truth for you. What we've been talking about today, everything is already there. It's just a matter of recognition, and they're going to affirm that truth for you if something's going on in your life and you want to experience something different. So take advantage of that beautiful service that we offer here on Sundays, or use the treatment box in the back, and we'll pray on your, and I don't know, I keep you in my prayer until you tell me that it's done. So just know that that's happening every day for you when you make a prayer request. Okay? So what else? Is that about it?
I know that there's mental equivalent books for $2 at the bookstore.
All right.
But they're really good. Do you remember in the olden days when we'd go to the store and they'd have those little books that you could like put in your back pocket and pull it out when you were like bored at the dentist or something like that? This is really cool. It's very little, very flat, and it's easy to
All right.
tuck around.
Did
Yes,
I
and we
forget
have
anything? The children. We don't have our children yet.
We do have children
some
here,
in the
though.
audience, though, in the congregation. Let's do our blessing. Our youth program we met this week. We're going to start in September, and we're actually going to have a youth party before that starts, and we'll be telling you more about that when we get it on the calendar and going. But we will start our youth program in September, brand new, thanks to Janice and George. And whoever would like to join them, let us know, because we could use some more youth mentors. All right, so let's do just a blessing for our children, just knowing that wherever they are, the ones that are in this room, Aaliyah and Everett, and all other children in the world, that they are safe, that they are healthy, that their needs are met, and more and more and more, and that they live in that state of grace, and that grace is recognized right here and right now in our hearts. And so I know it moves out into their lives from that place as we affirm together, and so it is. Yeah. All right, so we're ready for our closer. And this
Stand
is a
up
new
and let's get
closing
some
song
energy going.
that Maria wrote. So let's learn it.
We are eternal, we are boundless, born of infinite bliss consciousness, by the grace of love. We are eternal, we are boundless, we choose peace and happiness, by the grace of love. So let's surrender, knowing everything's gonna be alright. We come from and return to love. Let's all surrender, knowing everything's gonna be alright. We come from and return to love. Yeah, we come from and return to love.
And so staying in this place of absolute unconditional love, we know it all starts with what? Gratitude. And so I am so grateful for Donna and our wonderful Deborah, who is at the door greeting us with that smiling faces. And over in hospitality, I'm just going to wing this one. We got Jen back there. We got Elizabeth, making sure that we have a little something when we're done here. And I think we're all filled up, but I think we can always have a little bit more. We have Analia back there as well. So I am also blessed for our wonderful Roseanne, our licensed practitioner, who is up here letting us know what it's all about. And Jonathan back there with such gratitude. Thank you. And we have Ron out of the hospitality for a moment and running the camera. And we just say thank you. And he'll be meeting you with those books, mental equivalent, right out the side of the door there. Rev Diane, thank you for everything. And I know that you're in and out of the bookstore today as well. Maria Christina, thank you for being our resident songwriter as well. And Luis for just taking that last minute text and jumping in with that beautiful drum. And I just want to thank the beautiful flowers. Arlena and Peter brought the flowers today. And Peter made sure that it was the right way looking out at us. Thank you, Peter. And so I'd like to thank this beautiful lady over here, the co-spiritual director, Reverend Rita, for everything that she does 24/7. Thank you. And I know that I would never thank myself, but I will thank myself. And I would like to also thank each and every one of you, and I'd like to thank that inner child that gave permission for me to share today. That I thank him for, and I thank each and every one of you for your consciousness. And I thank this entire center, and I thank this planet. Oh, it's like a Oscar award-winning speech that never ends. So what I do know is the Spirit is running through each and every one of us, and it's making us move. It's making us dance as Maria Christina takes us out with this wonderful new song as we say together, and so it is.
We are eternal, we are boundless, born of infinite bliss consciousness. By the grace of love, we are eternal, we are boundless, we choose peace and happiness. By the grace of love, so let's surrender, knowing everything's gonna be alright. We come from and return to love. Let's all surrender, knowing everything's gonna be alright. We come from and return to love. Yeah, we come from and return to love. To love.
Hey, am I really that radical?
I love every minute. I want him to expect it.
Continue to do sometimes several things at once.
Absolutely. How you doing today?
Is your partner here?
No, she's not coming today.
Well, I couldn't decide whether to stay home or not because I didn't wake up until 20 to 9. For the second time that I was up at 4.
Ah, okay.
Hi, Ron. How are you this morning? Yeah. Did it make you nervous doing that?
No.
Oh.
It's just I forget how to do things.
Oh, yeah. It's a new role for you. You got a different hat on this morning.
Yeah, well, it keeps me off the street and out of trouble.
Yes, I did. Actually, we sat to watch our grandson sing. The bandwagon. Yeah. It was right up front. I don't know how you say me. Right in front by the band. Yeah, okay, that's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Excuse me, Ron. For the next 2 Sundays I won't be here. I'm actually cooking at Tara Camp for the whole week.
fun.
I know, I've
Yeah,
never
you're
been
okay.
before. It's supposed to be an amazing camp. It's down at Hyena.
Okay.
And it's a week-long like dance, meditation, Buddhist kind of stuff.
Cool.
Celebrating
That's okay.
the goddess.
Don't worry about
I'm
it,
going
all
to
right?
be cooking for that.
Good.
For the whole week, which is going to be super
You know, the sheets in the break room in there, just scratch your name out.
well, and then when I come back,
You gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah, there's a lot of tricks as a new
You putting it on loud.
Okay. Good. Well, I was wondering if she didn't do that. She was trying to get on the Amazon, and she didn't quite get the phone. Yes, it does. Yeah.